Well, a feel-good.
Slammed it home.
A change in approach, at least through one game of the season.
If you want production out of your bench, you have to trust your bench. And it goes both ways, because when you're out there as a bench player, you have to produce. And what I loved about how Mike Brown coached this game is when the game got hairy and got close at the end of the third quarter, it was a 2-point game, he stuck with some guys off the bench. And they rewarded Mike Brown with good play, went on a run with a couple bench guys out there, and that allowed the starters to be rested when it was closing time down the stretch of the game. That's going to pay off monumentally over the course of the season. When you're a player that you get called upon to go into that game, and you know the coach trusts you to produce no matter how close the game is, and if the run's going in an opposite direction, that was big time, the way those guys produced for their new coach.
Knicks were up 15 at the half, but it was tied after the third quarter, and here is what we're talking about. Wally's mentioning this fourth quarter run. Tonight's thrilling moment brought to you by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on. A 14-0 run to start the final quarter of the game. And the five on the court, Wally, McBride, Kolek, Clarkson, Cat, and OG.
Yeah, you have two starters out there, so that stabilizes and guys that you can run the offense through. And how about the performance by Deuce McBride? I mean, this is a guy that Coach Brown is going to trust. He was a plus 17 when he was on the floor for 25 minutes. Cat with the shimmy shake, the little Euro step. Impressive move by your 7-footer. And then this is what you do at home. Your bench electrifies the crowd. The bench feeds off the energy of the world's most famous arena. That was a pretty impressive first win against a good Cavalier team. Now, let's not forget, Cavaliers decimated with injuries. No Hunter, no Garland, no Max Strus. Those are three high-level starter-type guys that were not in the lineup tonight. Knicks took advantage. They got a good win to start the season.
Off the bench, you mentioned McBride with 15. Landry Shamet had 9. And Tyler Kolek, who was part of that group that went on that 14-0 run, he played very well. Of course, you have the retirement of Malcolm Brogdon. Maybe Kolek is the guy behind Brunson. He was excellent with 7 points off the bench.
Well, you trust him running the team. I mean, he is an outstanding quarterback at the high basketball level. He was an All-American in college at Marquette, led the nation in assists. He was a first-team All-Big East guy. He's a very smart basketball player. He's going to learn the system very quickly. You trust with him having the ball in his hands, and you can tell the coaching staff believes in him. And that's a great sign for him and his career, because the Knicks need a pure point guard to back up Jalen Brunson when he's not out there on the floor. You need someone to organize the offense, get everyone into the right spots, and make plays. And Tyler Kolek, he makes guys around him better. It was an outstanding job of him. And when the lights were brightest in the regular season, to start the regular season.
So we've been talking about the bench. Starters also played well. Mentioned OG Anunoby with 24 and Ty Dickery with 14, and Jalen Brunson at 23 points.
Yeah, Jalen looks quick to me. He really does. He looks fresh.
I think he's lost some weight.
Yeah, I mean, he was flying around the floor, not banged up like he was all last year, dealing with very briskly, and that was great to see. And that's another benefit of him not having to log. He is on the floor, be more aggressive. That's the thing when you trust your backups to come in and make plays and play well and buy you minutes. When you're out there on the floor, you feel to yourself, okay, I can be more aggressive in the 31 minutes that I got tonight compared to 40 minutes. I got to pace myself the way I play on both ends of the floor to make sure I have something left in the tank at the end of the game. Jalen played 34 minutes. I think that's a great number. If Mike Brown can keep the starters' minutes around 35 in today's day and age of NBA basketball, quick the pace is, that's going to pay dividends on the back end of the season in the playoffs.
Now, we've talked a lot, and we talked about in the pregame show how this new system under Mike Brown could benefit Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. Bridges had an excellent game. He had 6 assists to go with 16 points. And as we've talked about, Anunoby, player of the game, 24 points, had a career high with 14 rebounds.
And led the team in minutes. You can tell Mike Brown needs him out there on the floor on both ends of the floor. And OG Anunoby delivered big time. You know, here's a guy that's as good as they come as far as two-way. Obviously, he's an elite defender. How he didn't make all first-team all-defense, I don't know who's voting for that last year, but he's on his way to making it this year. 3 steals, a block, and just all over the place defensively. And then the offensive part of his game continues to grow. I mean, he's already an elite offensive player, but it's going to get better. Knocking down the big shot that really iced the game, pushed the lead to 8 in the final minute. that his offensive game, if his coaches continue to open it up and allow him to do more and trust him to have the ball in bigger spots to make plays, there's not a thing that he can't do offensively either, along with his elite defense. And that was a pretty good start to the season for OG, when at the beginning of the day we didn't even know if he was going to play. So it was nice to see him out there in the lineup in a Knicks uniform, and what a performance.
OG, a game-time decision, of course, ended up playing. Monica McNutt, as always, helped call the game on the radio on ESPN New York. Monica, what'd you think of game number one?
It's a good start, right? I think you got a lot to be pleased with. Pat and I think in our group chat, we were kind of making notes and observations about the rotation. I was pleased to see, geez, how many deep did Mike Brown go?
11.
I'm pleased to see him go 11 deep, just to get an opportunity to see what guys have to offer. And guys, mind you, this is a solid win without two of your key rotation guys. So I think there's a lot to be pleased with, and there's a lot to look at and figure out how you move forward. When we talked to Deuce McBride post-game, he mentioned that third quarter in particular, but he did say that in terms of the buzzword of pace, this was a solid start and a good step rather in the right direction.
Monica, what was your thought on Huck Porty? I thought he did an outstanding job just doing his job in the middle, matching up against Jared Allen and Mobley. It seems like the Knicks have found someone who can kind of stabilize when Mitchell Robinson can't go and is on a night where he's on load management and can't really put stress on that ankle.
Yeah, Wally, you and I are on the same page. I thought he came in with the right amount of energy. There's a couple times early in the ball game where you could see him crashing the glass, unable to completely corral those rebounds, but then you saw him make the right passes, go from good to great, and just begin to find his rhythm in terms of getting on the glass. He finished the night, with 5 rebounds total, but I thought he was really active and did a good job of not getting in the way. I think sometimes that is an underrated skill, right? Like, you have energy, apply your energy in a way that is a positive and not creating confusion.
Monica, how about the overall balance?
Yeah.
The bench contribution, the distribution of minutes, balance scoring up and down the box score. What do you think of that?
Yeah, you love to see it. Now, look, I think the Knicks understand, and I'm actually going to take a line from Kenny Atkinson pregame. He talked about the regular season each day being an opportunity to improve in order to get ready for the postseason. I think the Knicks are very well aware of that. Guys, we've obviously led our pregame show talking about all the expectations. They get it, and they get it that these opportunities are not to be taken for granted, especially when you're able to go 11 deep minus 2 key rotation guys. And so I think you're beginning to build trust, which is another buzzword we continue to hear throughout the postseason, trusting the process, trusting the system, and trusting one another.
All right, Monica, as always, we appreciate it. As the Knicks are 1-0, Mike Brown's first post-game press conference coming up. What does he have to say about the win? We'll find out right after this.
The Knicks post-game show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
The Cavs 119. Welcome back, everyone, as the Knicks win their season opener tonight, beating the Cavs 119-111. We continue now from the corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. So next up for the Knicks, are against Boston here at home on Friday. That's a national TV game. So our next game here on MSG will be Sunday. The Knicks are at Miami, pregame at 5:30 and the game at 6. Let us now listen into the postgame comments from Mike Brown, as always, presented by Chase.
It's a pretty good effort from our team. The great part about it is, we got a lot of room to grow. And that's what's exciting. You got to give Cleveland credit. We took a double-digit lead going into halftime, and they came out and they hit us in the mouth in the second half. And we gave up 15 fast break points in that third quarter, but our guys, I thought, responded the right way. They did a better job as the game went along, especially in that fourth quarter. One of the things that we talked about was last year we thought, watching film from last year, Cleveland did a nice job of scoring in the paint. They averaged right around 58 points a game in the paint. against us last year, and our guys did a great job. They shifted the right way. They got the shooters the right way, which resulted in Cleveland scoring 30 points in the paint tonight. And I thought that was huge for us. At the end of the day, we always talk about, hey, try to win the possession game, try to win the possession game, try to win the possession game. And for us, that's about free throw attempts plus offensive rebounds minus turnovers, and our guys did. They won the possession game against good teams. We have to do that because the ball's not going to always go in. We got to rely on our defense, and we got to win the possession game. I thought they did a great job with that tonight. We got a lot of great performances from a lot of different people. OG was a monster. 14 rebounds, 24 points on 9 of 17, but he was our defensive player of the game. I think he had 6 or 7 deflections. He guarded a lot of different people, so we saw a lot of different types of players tonight.
Porty could be very important. If Mitchell Robinson's going to be compromised, if he's going to be on load management, they're going to need Huck Porty off the bench or maybe starting.
Yeah, and
like he started tonight. You
could tell he looks a lot more confident in his abilities on an NBA basketball floor. He's taken a year to learn, and when you're a big man, the game starts to slow down for you, and you don't feel like you have to be as hyped. You can kind of make the game easier by anticipating certain angles, and that's a big part of being a quarterback on the defensive end of the floor. He has the athleticism, all the tools to block shots, to defend the pick and roll, move his feet, and be a great defender. And with Mike Brown and this coaching staff, they are very good at developing young players, trusting them, putting out there in situations. He will watch film on this game. He will learn from some of the rotations if he did any wrong, and that's how you continue to grow as a young player.
Only his second career start for Huck Porty. Had 5 rebounds and 2 points in about 17 minutes of playing time. Up next, the MSG 150. Hornets in action against the Nets and much more when we come back after this.
Should the Bulls foul? No. Anthony for 3. Bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied. In the hands of Anthony. Anthony for 3. Puts it in! Knicks by 1 with 8.2 remaining.
Welcome back, everyone, as the Knicks win their season opener, beating the Cavs tonight 119-111. Time now for the Audi MSG 150 final, the fastest 150 seconds in the National Basketball Association. Stop number 1, Magic and Miami. Paolo Banchero and 1. Magic up by 4 at the half. Andrew Wiggins for Miami connecting from long range. We're tied at 119, 113 to go. Might the Magic be a threat in the East? They have Jalen Suggs, who was not healthy down the stretch last year. Tough hoop here, and Orlando wins 125-121 over Miami tonight. Charlotte hosting the Nets. Second quarter. LaMelo Ball, the alley-oop. To Brandon Miller. He's a talented young player. Miles Bridges always can score. Off the turnover, Ball again. And this is a half-court alley-oop to Miller. Look at this play. Hornets were up by 17, and they go on to win. What a play there. They beat the Nets 136-117. Philly and Boston. Tyrese Maxey, step back 3, scored 22 in the first half. Sixers up 6 at the half. Of course, no Jason Tatum for Boston. KP's in Atlanta. Drew Holiday's in Portland. They do, however, have Derek White on the outside for 3. Jason Tatum like that. Fourth quarter, one of the new Celtics. Anthony Simons drive and slam. Boston up 10, but Philly won tonight over Boston 117-116. Atlanta hosting the Raptors. KP now on Atlanta, deep 3. At last check, another former Knick, R.J. Barrett, at 25. Raptors go up by 7. Toronto's got some talent. Maybe there's someone to watch this year. Later on, Brandon Ingram the steal. Another former Knick, Emmanuel Quickly the finish and foul. Raptors in the final seconds are up 20. They're going to win the game, and they're going to start the season 1-0. That's your MSG 150 final presented by Audi. We got some reaction from the Knicks locker room after this as New York tonight beats the Cavs 119-111.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Everyone, the Knicks and Cavs were tied after 3 quarters of play. Knicks won the fourth quarter by 8 and end up winning the game 119-111. Wally, the minutes allotment, what do you think?
I like it. I really do. And the big part is the bench was trusted to play double-digit minutes, most of them. And that's a great sign. That means that they're getting into the game, they're getting allowed to find a rhythm and make contributions. You can't contribute if you come off the bench and you're in and out in 2 minutes. You have to get bulk minutes, you have to get stretch minutes. Mike Brown left those guys out there because they were producing and allowed them to make an impact on the game. And I think that's a big part of being a productive bench and getting production from your bench, and overall keeping those starters minutes under 40. That's going to be crucial to keep guys fresh for the course of a long 82-game season in the playoffs.
Last year, the Knicks 27th in the league in threes per game in terms of three-pointers attempted, 34 per game attempted last year. Tonight, 40. That was Mike Brown's goal. He wants to shoot at least 40 threes a game, and they attempted 40 tonight.
Well, that's going to make you tougher to defend when those threes are coming from different guys. Different guys can create offensively. The ball's not just in Jalen Brunson's hand the whole entire time. It's going to be in Jalen Brunson's hands most of the time. That's important. You don't want to get away from having him the ball and orchestrating the offense and making his plays. But when the defense doesn't know who to guard and who to key in on, because there are so many different guys that can make a play and create a shot or make a shot, that's when you become tough to guard as a team, and that's what's going to happen, I think, with this team, with a lot of different guys being trusted to do things offensively.
Knicks made 14 of those 40 three-pointers, and from the line, they went 31 of 36, while Cleveland went 12 of 18. So the Knicks doubled up the Cavs from the free throw line, 36 attempts to 18 attempts.
In my experience, when you go to the line that much more than the opponent, that means you're the aggressor. You're the attacking team. You're the attacking players. And that's exactly what the Knicks want. They want to get to that line and show the other defensive team that they are going to be in attack mode the whole time.
All right, good first game for the Knicks as they beat the Cavs. Double-double for Cat, 19 and 11. Final count tonight, 119-111.
Yeah, like a dream come true, man.
It's the greatest moment so far.
Signing autographs for the different guys, man.
Thank you so much.
All right, okay. No, I didn't bring a book, man, because I thought it would be too petty, right? I didn't want to do that. And then I come, Elgin Baylor wants some autograph, Hakeem, all these guys. So maybe I'll try to get a book tomorrow and try to get some autographs. But I have the memories, man. It's indelibly etched right there. I don't really need the autographs, but it'll be a nice memento if I did have that. But, you know, I'm just elated to be a part of the group.
Did all the memories come flooding back to you when you were up there with all these guys?
Well, before we met in the room, so while we were in that room, man, you see Jabbar walk in, you see Jordan walk in, you see Elgin and Oscar. You know that this is something special. So, yeah, I'm a very fortunate man, to be here.
Welcome back, everyone. So next up for the Knicks, they'll play host to the Celtics on Friday. That's a national TV game. You can listen on the radio on ESPN New York. Knicks will be at Miami on Sunday, and then they have games against the Bucks and the Chicago Bulls before a run of 7 straight here at home to begin the month of November. We'll be back with more here on the postgame show after this. Knicks beat the Cavs tonight, 119 to 111.